Toastmaster. Morning, Toastmaster.
Good morning.
I don't know how to pick a crowd today, because of whatever reason. The river of life, I had it all written out. I had a beautiful metaphor about my past and how I'm flowing down the river and all the events. I had a note here. This may hurt you more than it hurts me. Oh. And I pulled out my telescope and I gazed at it's a brass spyglass, right? To go with metaphor, half a century upstream to where I had begun. And I had it all written out, and I was writing down all the junk that happened to me, all the terrible things of my childhood and stuff. And Herb was kind enough to come over to my house and listen to me run through it. And I said, I can't dump all this out. This is not a counseling session. And also, as far as the stage fright issue, I have sung solos in front of larger crowds, so I know, and I've been on stage, so I know that it's just a little phase that you kind of go through, and then you discover that your brain after all these moves. It's like I'm singing to my mother, you know. So what I thought I'd do was, I had my 3 pages, I read it through it, and it was like 10, 12 minutes. I said, that ain't gonna work. Herb said, cut. So, and no detail. Not so many details. So, I realized, 5 minutes, that's 1 minute per decade. That's it. Punch it in. I said, well, how about act more like you're taking a rock and skipping it, and you just hit, boing, and just hit a few points. I thought about, well, how about the happy and the sad for each decade? So I'm going to go with that, and my first decade was happy. I can't think of much unhappiness. We grew up in El Monte. We have 2 brothers and a sister, parents, a house. And then we moved to Santa Barbara. My father died my second decade, the most significant event in my life. So that was the unhappy part. We moved to Santa Barbara, though, because that's where my mom was from there. So I grew up there. And he had a rare disease that died young, and it's difficult to talk about. But I had a lot of happy times, too. I wrote it down. Music. Oh, that was the next decade. See, I don't know my history. Skateboards, bike friends. I'm in the second decade, 11 to 20. 1966, 1975. College. I got religion in a bad way. I fell into this cult, but it was like a charismatic father figure, everything I had needed, been looking for. And I discovered the philosophies. And it was good and bad there. But I had problems with depression, struggling with the grief, unresolved grief. Now, looking back, I realized what was wrong with me. And every time I try to talk to somebody, how are you? Then I dump all my problems on them, They'd flee, and I said, well, I guess I'm no good. So I thought I was no good all the time. And that's the bad, unhappy part that I had went through. My third decade, in my 20s, I went to that college, that Christian college, for 1.5 semesters. Realized I didn't have the study skills and the social skills, and I didn't fit that. I disagreed with their philosophy. A green light?
It doesn't mean
25 years old and I'm green
Throwing lights.
I have an eclectic background. I did a lot of reading on my own, and I struggle with pride with that because I think I have a lot of insight. But then, when I was in 2001, there were some really big high points that you have to know about. I quit smoking, and I had been struggling with it for years. Oh, I had been medicating beer too, and I got counseling, and I found some great people. And my life started getting a lot better, and I got stabilized with printing. I worked in printing companies. I had gone to City College and done cooking school. I'd done that a lot. And it was not the kind of really fulfilling stuff. Yeah, why? Oh, why? So I had quit smoking and 10 years ago. And that was a major triumph for me. In fact, I'm going to write a book. That's in the future. And I found a wife, finally. And I was 47 before I found a woman to get married. And she's so wonderful. We met through a pen pal club. And she's a school teacher. And she has a grown daughter, of course. And she couldn't make it today because she has to sleep in. I'm tired. It's too early for her. I'll get her in here because she said her dad used to do it. She loves Toastmasters. And recently I was working as a facility locator. I stuck with it, even though most people don't last. I'm defending myself. Most of their employees only last a year. I lasted 6.5, and I learned a lot of self-reliance. They had to let me go, and I'm on my own resources now. I said, what am I going to do? And I was casting around. I said, you know, I would love the idea of being manufacturer's representative, salesman, because then I would have these transferable skills. Be a challenging, you know, and once you get to really master the product and present it to the people that need it, you know. The whole idea of being a professional, like the Ziglar, is to give the people what they want, to match the product with the people, that's all. So then I found a company, a financial company, and they use the motivational transformational leadership style, you know. So I got all inspired and then kind of snowballed, and I realized, you know, I can do this, that, and the other, and I just getting to know myself, and I realized, you know, Toastmasters would really benefit me because I really need the foundation of the communication. I'm going to have to communicate really accurately, and I'm going to have to know my product and be able to really communicate it accurately to people so that they know exactly what they're getting, because you can't have unhappy customers, for one thing. And I still have a spiritual philosophy kind of, or psychology, what we call it, motivational type. So I'm playing with the idea of the, not ministry, but motivational type speaking. Maybe encouraging people so that they don't have to go through all the struggles I had to go through, you know. So, let's see, as I mentioned, I'm going to be writing some books, communicating. And for my wrap up, I just wanted to mention that how glad I am to be here, and have a nice Thanksgiving. You know, we're going to have a whole bunch of household people over, so I have a lot to be grateful for: my wife, my house, my truck, you know, my health, and all that. So,